Hello everybody. I'm noticing that people are getting really quite cross with me when I tell them that nothing on the outside of them can hurt them unless we let them. It feels so compellingly true that people and situations make us upset or angry or jealous or any of those other feelings that we don't like very much. It does look true, and I'm sure we could all cite examples where that has definitely happened to us and those things definitely upset us. But that doesn't actually make it any more true. We can, of course, choose to let those things upset us. And I know it doesn't feel like a choice, but actually it's always a choice. So, say somebody shouts at us, and then we feel really unpleasant and uncomfortable and defensive and frightened and worried. It seems like it is because that person shouted at us. But right there we had a choice. We could choose to not be intimidated by that shouting. We could choose to feel stronger, to feel really resourced. We could choose maybe to feel sorry for that person who had to resort to anger to get their point across. We could choose to feel compassion for that person. We could choose to feel compassion for ourselves so that we don't become damaged by that experience. It's much easier not to make the choice. It's much easier just to let our feelings get carried away, to let us get really hooked up in that story of this person shouting at me and now I feel really bad. To make the choice to not let it affect us takes a little bit of work. Not when you're used to it. It doesn't take me any work at all now, but I remember being way back at the beginning when it seemed so like somebody or something had made me feel uncomfortable. And I remember finding it really hard to have it available to me that wasn't the case. But what I did manage to have available to me in those early days was the fact that on some level I knew it to be true that they couldn't hurt me, even though right now it wasn't available to me. Right now it seemed completely like this situation, this person had hurt me. But just knowing that somewhere that I couldn't quite get hold of in me was a place where I didn't need to be hurt, I didn't need to be affected. That got me through. And I always say that it's much easier to start retraining your brain, to start making the synapses work in a different way, of our thoughts taking a different route. Much easier when the situations are easy. So maybe in the times when you're just slightly affected by something or somebody on the outside of you, maybe something just irks you a little bit or irritates you slightly, at those times you remind yourselves that actually this can't get to me. Actually this situation, this person is not paying rent for my headspace, so I'm not going to give them any headspace. I'm just going to get on with my life. I'm going to enjoy each moment, and I'm going to live, and I'm going to love, and I'm going to refuse to be hurt by things that cannot hurt. And maybe you're really struggling with this, as I was, and how so many of my clients seem to be. And if that's the case, please get hold of me, reach out, and I'll work with you. Just little things like most of us feel happier. We feel happier when the sun shines. It's a lovely sunny day, and we go out, we feel the warmth of the sun on our skin. We don't need to bundle ourselves up with coats and scarves and hats and gloves. And then when it rains or when it's cold or when it feels yucky and uncomfortable, we don't feel so happy. Are we really going to let the weather do that to us? Because the thing is, the moment that we argue with what is, we're going to lose. Because we can argue till we're blue in the face that it shouldn't be raining today, oughtn't be cold, that it's not fair that it's wet. And we would have wasted our time, because the weather's going to do its own sweet thing, regardless of whatever we want, whatever we think, however much we think, however much we overthink, however angry, the weather's going to do its own thing. And that is the case with every single thing on the outside. Sometimes it seems that people change for us, and sometimes they do because they choose to do that. You know, you want a friend or a partner to change, sometimes they do to please you, or because they can see a validity in the way that you're talking of being. But we can't ever make anything other than ourselves change, not ever. However hard we try, however hard we cajole or beg or bully, we have no power over what happens on the outside. And the amount of time we waste trying to have that power, whenever we argue with what is, we're going to lose. And you know, what is perfect. Whatever the weather today, it's perfect for today. And if other people aren't having such a handle on their emotions and aren't understanding that things on the outside can't hurt them, then there's nothing we can do about that. It's not their time to learn. Maybe they're not ready, maybe they'll never be ready, maybe it's just not their thing. Let's just keep our own house in order. Let's just mind our own business. Yeah. Let's just live. I'll leave that thought with you.